Well, I think it's a little early to tell at the moment. I mean, as we know, he's got relief from the courts in the past, but of course under very different circumstances. I mean, this time, following his second arrest, the military establishment, which, to be quite honest, is calling the shots politically, seems to have got itself pretty much organized. I mean, one good indicator of that is the fact that very few people have come out on the streets. I mean, as you recall, when Imran Khan was last arrested in May of this year, we had massive demonstrations, and this time around, hardly any protests have been registered in the major towns and cities of Pakistan. Of course, much of that has to do with the fact that people are simply very scared. But for the time being, as you indicated, his lawyers are determined to appeal against this conviction, which, by the way, is widely seen as extremely controversial, not least because it seems to be lacking all the criteria associated with the due process.
Yes, and of course it's not the only legal problem that he faces.
No, indeed not. In fact, he has anything between 150 to 200 cases registered against him. So that if, for some reason he is released on bail, following this conviction, there are a whole slew of cases against him, which could mean that, he could be hauled into jail, as soon as he's released. I think what is important to bear in mind here is that, again, the view here is that Imran Khan and the charges against him are politically motivated, so that really the legality of the cases are really not so important. What matters now is really to disqualify him and prevent him from contesting the next election.
Yes, and to your point, there have been literally no protests. There were thousands of his supporters were arrested last time. We're hearing reports that the media has been told not to mention his name, not to run his images of him. So to your point, the military have really come at this in a very different way this time round.
Yes. I mean, that there are two ways of looking at it. I mean, in May, we had, as I indicated, massive demonstrations following that first arrest. Now, there are conspiracy theorists who have argued that the military actually deliberately let that situation reach critical point in order to have good grounds to bring terrorism cases of damaging military installations against Imran Khan and his supporters. In other words, they simply let it run its course when they could easily have acted much faster to put an end to it. This time, however, it's quite interesting that it's a completely different picture altogether. Fear is one factor, but the other is, of course, the question of whether or not those who are now handling the party in Imran Khan's absence have managed to galvanize his supporters in the way that, he has habitually been able to do. I mean, he has no access to the internet, no YouTube, no WhatsApp. So really his contact with his supporters has all but been cut off. Yeah. So we will just have to wait and see how this plays out.
Unlike the US, where you can run for president from jail, that's not the case in Pakistan, is it?
No, it isn't the case in Pakistan, and I think it's again widely understood that if he is formally disqualified, as everything seems to suggest, his chances of contesting the next elections will be virtually nil, which leaves us with several scenarios. The most important of which is whether or not the incumbent government and the parties that replaced him have a message that is strong enough to appeal to Imran Khan's constituency. At the moment, of course, they don't seem to have that kind of message. And there is a great deal of disillusionment, not least because, the country is in dire economic straits. So unless the government, which actually is stepping down in a couple of days and handing over to a caretaker government, unless there is a turnaround in the economy, chances are that Imran Khan and his party will continue to capitalize on the poor economic performance of those who ousted him from office.
Yeah. Always good to get your analysis, Farzana. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.